In this episode we're exploring the history of a forgotten old seminary in a rural part of Portugal. This beautiful building moved us with its rich history and tragic fate. It went from being a 12th century monastery to a home for the elderly and ultimately met its demise in a raging fire. If you like our content, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when we publish a new video, and also make sure to check out our Patreon page. Seminário de Santa Teresinha is an abandoned seminary in the municipality of Felgueiras. It caught our interest with its incredible Gothic abbey and the grandiose Neo-Manueline chapel. Throughout its 92-year history, it had been a fully fledged rural university. It helped many people and provided them with work and economic support. The building is surrounded by picturesque vineyards, old rural houses and farms. When viewed from above, the structure can be recognized by its distinct shape that resembles the number 9. We decided to use its real name because it is published on other sites and it is relatively easy to find, so there was no particular reason to protect it.
Da, možemo se počastiti malo.
Piše zeleno vino. To nisam očekivao. 10% alkohola. Nigdje ne mogu skužiti koja vrsta je to.
The Felgueiras area followed a Vincentian tradition, and future priests were trained here throughout the 20th century. In 1928, the Apostolic School of the Fathers of the Mission was moved to the farm of Campo de Burgo in Pombeiro. This marked the beginning of the Santa Teresinha Seminary.
Već nekak svako krilo, odnosno svaki glavni hodnik ima svoj naziv. Ovo je Corredor de São Vicente. Tamo je Ave Maria, ne znam ko ono slovo uopće, i Atrio de Santa Maria. Ovo izgleda da je po svim zidovima nekakve ormare imala sobu, ili police. Ovo ko da je gorilo. A po ovim daskama uz plafon se vidi abeceda poredana. Stvarno nemam pojma koji bi razlog za to mogao biti.
Father José Alves, a priest who was in charge of the congregation of the mission in Portugal, recalled in an interview that the building grew from a minor to a major seminary in 1967. Almost 95 priests were trained in the school for the priestly formation. He was the 94th. He pointed out that the seminary was a breath of innovation, given it had access to telephone, radio, television and cinema.
Mjesto je okruženo vinogradima, tako da ima smisla ono vino kojeg smo vidjeli da je u sklopu same zgrade bila vinarija. Mislim, na internetu smo našli jednu od glavnih fotografija ove zgrade i sama prostorija je kapelica koja je bila tu negdje, tako da ovaj križ možda sugerira da se nalazi na katu ispod, tako da ćemo to sljedeće otići pogledati.
Father Jose Alves also highlights access to studies at a time when high school education was only for people who had economic means, which was rare. The seminary enhanced society by producing university professors, post office workers, teachers, and lawyers. It was abandoned in 1967, but the building was used as a home for the elderly until 1984. After that, it lay dormant, waiting for a future that would never happen.
Nice.
The most beautiful part of the Seminario is the Neo-Manueline chapel. The Manueline is a Portuguese artistic and architectural style that embodies an aesthetic distancing from the late Gothic that happened during the reign of King Manuel I. A vivid ornamental testament to the era of great sea expeditions and contact with new foreign cultures, the Manueline is an architectural display that is distinctly Portuguese and can be seen in a range of structures, from sacral architecture to military monuments, the bell and tower being a prime example. A simple doorway connects the main entrance to the chapel and the seminary. There are also two side entrances to the chapel. Vines and other plants cling to the wrought iron window decorations. The beautiful stained glass windows are miraculously still intact. The main altar is wooden and contains intricate carvings and gold gilding, as do the lateral ones.
Kad sam prvo ušao u sobu, mislio sam da su pločice po spodovima i po zidovima, oni su doslovno naslikali kao neku mrežu po zidu. Ovi kapiteli isto su sad našpricana farba, ovi dovratnici isto.
Čekaj, je to nacrtano?
Da.
Ozbiljno?
Ovo je doslovno ko da je neko onak uzeo kist i onak namočio onak da se pošprica sve. A ovo je isto onak doslovno na ofarban zidu bijelo i onda su ove linije radili.
Fakat čudno, ono.
Da, jako. To i kombinacija ovih lampi, onih tam lampi prekidača na svakom stupu. Čudna neka kombinacija onak kamena i elektronike.
At a certain point, the abandoned seminary was sold and the buyer had to wait a long time for their tourism license. In 2009, the project was approved, but investors ended up backing out. The owner continued to search for partnerships to move the project forward and transform the space into a hotel.
U onoj vinari jučer je bilo isto ovako spiralno stubište, samo je bilo kompletno metalno.
On the night of July 25th, 2020, a fire devoured the Santa Teresinha Seminary and reduced it to a granite skeleton. The Vincentians lamented the loss of the stained glass windows and altars in the chapel, which remained there after the closing and selling of the seminary. Father Jose Alves, who studied at the seminary of Santa Teresinha between 64 and 67, considers this a great emotional loss, not only for priests, but for many people who used to call this place home and are now displaced across the country. Quinta de Seminario de Santa Teresinha is currently for sale. If you would like to support our work, please consider pledging on Patreon. We offer a variety of perks such as early access to our videos, hoodies and t-shirts. Thank you for watching.
Ful mi nije jasno zakaj su imali sportsku dvoranu na zadnjem katu u zgradi.
Ko zove?
Antibiotici zovu.
Zakaj trebaš antibiotike?
Jer sam se nabo na hrđavi čavao.